Hello, boys and girls. Hello, 3A. Welcome to a new chapter in science. It's chapter 12. It's called the musculoskeletal system. Big word this time, huh? Now, movement is an important part of life. Of course, you know what movement is, right? Now, I want you to know that God designed the human body with bones that help it move in many ways. I want you to do something for me. I want you to examine one of your arms. Move it, bend it, and how many bones do you think are there in your arm and hand? And I want you to keep that in your mind, okay? And then I want you to do the same thing with your legs and foot. I want you to move it and try to think how many bones are in your legs and foot. So I have here a picture of a skeleton. Isn't he cute? I like his smile. Now, the arm, your arm, this is your arm, from your shoulder to the wrist. Now, the wrist is where you wear your watch. It has three bones. So what are these bones? It's your hand, which includes the wrist, and the fingers is made up of 27 bones. Wow, that's quite a lot. And your leg from the hip to the ankle are the side bones, okay, right above your foot. It has three bones too. And the foot, which includes the ankle, foot, and toes, is made up of 26 bones. I hope you got it right. Now, what do these bones help you to do? Yeah, you're right. It helps you to walk, run, pick up objects, raise a hand, yeah. And how do you think your body would look and feel if you did not have any bones? I think you'll start looking like a jellyfish. Yeah, it will be floppy, squishy, and you will be unable to move. Psalm 139 verses 13 to 14 says, "For you created my inmost being. You knit me together in my mother's womb. I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Your works are wonderful. I know that full well." Psalm 139:14. Now, students, I just want to remind you that God designed your body. He created your bones, your joints, and muscles to function in helpful ways. Now, in this chapter, you will learn more about the marvelous design of the human body, and that is your body. So, why don't we read the first paragraph? The musculoskeletal system helps people move. It includes bones, joints, and muscles. The human body is made of many bones. So, boys and girls, the body system of bones, joints, and muscles is called the musculoskeletal system. Now, the word musculoskeletal system is a long word, but it is made up of two smaller words. Actually, it's a compound word, okay? Now, let me just, okay. So, it's made up of the word musculo, that's the first word, okay? It ends with O, which means muscle, and the word skeletal, okay? Which is your skeleton, your bones. Okay? So remember, it ends with an O, musculo, and then skeletal. If you put it together, it's about the muscle and the bones. So let's continue reading. The skull protects the brain and shapes the face. So this is your skull. I want you to try and feel. Do you have a skull? Okay, it protects the brain inside. That's how God takes care of us. Okay, and then the spine runs down the neck and the back. It is made up of bones called vertebrae, and the spine protects the spinal cord. So I want you to run your hand down the middle of your back to feel the spinal column. and you will feel bones there, and each bone you feel is a vertebra. Now, when it's one, you say vertebra. When it's a lot, when it's plural, you say vertebrae. So here in the picture, you have your vertebra, okay, from the neck down here, okay? And so vertebrae stack on top of each other to form the spine. Now, why is the spine made of many bones rather than just one? Can you think of an answer? Well, the spine is made of many bones rather than just one to allow more movement and to prevent it from breaking as easily, okay? From breaking as easily. Okay, next. I want you to, where are we? Okay, here. So I want you to inhale deeply to feel your rib cage and its movement. So attached to the spine are ribs. This one, the guitar-like bones, those are your ribs, okay? Ribs form a protective cage around the internal organs. 7 pairs of ribs attached to the front of the chest on a bone called the sternum. So this is the sternum. This one that looks like a dagger. Okay, that's the sternum bone. From the shoulder to the elbow is a bone called the humerus. From the elbow to the wrist are two bones called the radius and the ulna. Wow, what? These are strange sounding words. These bones allow the arm to rotate. Now, the pelvis supports the the spinal column. Now, where's the pelvis? This one. Okay, we have two pelvis. Okay, Kubi, and protects the organ in the lower body. Now, attached to the pelvis is the femur. This is your femur. The femur is the longest bone in the human body. It runs from the hip to the knee. Wow. Just like the arm, the lower leg contains two bones. These bones are your tibia and the fibula. Okay, let's turn to the next page. So let's read this paragraph. You may have had an x-ray. Oops, let me just clear that line. You may have had an x-ray taken if you have ever broken a bone or gone to the dentist. Radiologists are doctors who look at x-rays and find ways to help people get better. So I want to ask you what important things are revealed in an x-ray. Well, you're right, broken bones. Now let's read this. Babies are born with over 300 bones in their bodies. Wow. Adults only have 206 bones. Now, can you suggest any possible reasons why the number of bones in a person changes? Now, babies' bones are made they are made of more cartilage, and cartilage are flexible material of the ear and the nose. So God designed the bones in such a way that as a child ages, the bones grow, harden, and fuse together. For example, there are actually several bones that make up the skull. The skull is the head bone, okay? Now, as a baby grows, the spaces between the bones get smaller and eventually disappear. So I want you to complete the exercises on this page. It says, observe these x-rays, label them as hand or foot. I think that's too easy. Now, I want you to note that in the hand, the first 5 bones, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that extend from the wrist are found between the wrist and the fingers. These are your fingers. And in the x-ray of the hand, you will find the ends of the radius and ulna, okay? These are your radius and ulna, and this is the end. It's very visible. Now, in the foot, the long bones, now these are the long bones, but you don't see all of it, okay, are found between the ankles and the toes, okay? So that's all for this page. We'll try to move to the next page. So let's have some sort of a review. That is a radiologist. A radiologist is a doctor who looks at x-rays and finds some ways to help people get better. Now, what body system includes bones, joints, and muscles? Well, you are right. It's called the musculoskeletal system. So this is page 181, and it's inside bones. So let's try to read the page. Bones appear to be made of one solid, hard white material, but actually bones have four different layers. The first is a thin layer of blood vessels and nerves on the outside of the bone. If a bone is broken, these nerves send signal to the brain that the person is in pain. You see, boys and girls, the outer layer of blood vessels and nerves is very thin, but it provides necessary nourishment to the bones. So the next layer is the compact bone. This is the smooth, hard, white layer of bone. It is so strong that surgeons have to use a saw to cut through it. Oh my goodness, that is how hard it is. No matter now I understand why it's called the compact bone. Now, boys and girls, compact bone can be seen on a skeleton. Okay. Now, the next layer is a spongy bone. It is a layer of bone with many small spaces. Spongy bone is designed to bear stress from several directions. The outer edges of spongy bone form compact bone. So the spongy bone is more lightweight. It's like your sponge, right? If it doesn't have water, it's really light. The spongy bone is more lightweight and has small spaces like a honeycomb, but it bears stress from many directions and contains the bone marrow where blood cells are made. Within the spaces of the spongy bone is the bone marrow, okay? This is the jelly-like material where blood cells are made. So let's take a look at this picture. So these are your blood vessels and nerves, okay? This is your compact bone, and then your bone marrow and the spongy bone. So there are, so these are the main layers of your bones, but they may occur in different amounts. For example, there is more spongy bone in the upper part of your femur than other parts of the body. Now, why would human need more spongy bone in the legs than in the skull? Okay, now God designed it that way that there would be more spongy bone on your legs because your legs carry more weight and stress than the skull. Now, how would bones be different if they were made only of a compact bone? What if it's just a compact bone? Then they would be heavier and it would break more easily. Now, God designed bones purposely for strength and flexibility. So this is page 182. Now, God designed bones to store minerals that the body needs. Bones grow and rebuild themselves. See, bones grow the most during childhood. Can you believe this? Bones grow and rebuild themselves. It's like we're superheroes, right? We regenerate. So do you remember, I don't know if I mentioned to you that the lizards, once their tails get broken, it regrows. So we have that superpower too. Okay? Bones grow the most during childhood. Eventually, a person's bones stop growing and start breaking down. This is why some older adults get shorter as they grow older. Bones also repair themselves if they get broken. Cells in the bones rebuild the bone. Bone-like skin cells heal the skin after a cut. Casts keep broken bones from moving while they heal. That's why now I remember Daniel and Ryan. See, there is some good in putting cast around broken bones because if you have a broken bone and you keep moving it, then we're not giving the broken bones time to heal. Okay, it will not heal if it gets broken. I mean, if it moves. Sometimes doctors use metal plates, screws, and pins to hold broken bones in place. So we have an exercise for page 182. Read the descriptions of the parts of bone. Label each part on the picture with the correct letter. So you all you have to write here would be just letters. Okay, don't write those words. And this is very easy because it looks like something that I use in the kitchen for washing my dishes. Okay, so letter A, layer of bone with many small spaces. B, smooth hard white layer of bone. I wonder which one is that here. A jelly-like material in bone that makes blood cells. Letter D, thin layer that sends signals to the brain. So thank you for your time. I hope you enjoyed the first 4 pages of chapter 12. God bless you.